Hello and welcome everybody to a meeting of the Ontario City Council. In accordance with the Governor's declarations of emergency and stay-at-home orders, this meeting is being conducted by teleconference to limit in-person attendance. This meeting is being live broadcast on local cable channel 3 as well as live streamed on our city website. We appreciate your understanding during this unprecedented time of social distancing under the stay-at-home order. All documents for public review are on file with the Records Management City Clerk's Department. Anyone wishing to provide public comment or to address the City Council has been provided alternative means to do so, including U.S. mail, email, a website, comment form, as well as the ability to dial in and record a 3-minute voicemail. All public comments received by the established deadline for this meeting will be included as part of the official meeting record. In accordance with state law, remarks during public comments are to be limited to subjects within the Council's jurisdiction. Remarks on other agenda items will be limited to those items. So our first order of business, Madam City Clerk, is a roll call. And we all have to answer here or present to the roll call.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Leon. As I read off each of your names, would you please indicate you are here with either here or present? Mayor Leon.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada.
Here.
Councilmember Bowman.
Present.
Councilmember Wap.
I'm here.
Here.
All council members are present at this meeting and participating via Zoom.
Okay, so we did have a closed session, and Mr. Huber, would you give us a quick report?
Mr. Mayor, there was no reportable action taken in closed session.
All right, that brings us to our Pledge of Allegiance, being led by Councilmember Valencia. And our invocation will be a moment of silence that I'll indicate after the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance,
to
the flag of the United States
of America
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. All right, thank you. In lieu of our invocation and in recognition of those in our community and nation who have died as a result of the coronavirus, and I'd also like to say who have suffered in many other different ways because of the virus, have lost jobs, finances, relationships, all kinds of things have happened. I ask that we would now take a moment of silence and reflection. Would you join me? Thank you all for that pause. We're going to get into the public comments portion. And I want to explain that some people are like, why do you have a hat on? Because you don't want to see my hair. A lot of times people thought I didn't have any hair. Now you know I have a lot of hair, but I don't want to look like one of those Three Stooges guys. So can't go to the barber, so I got to wear a hat. Go LA. So anyway, Madam City Clerk, would you begin the public comments for us?
Yes, Mayor. For public comments tonight, we have no written comments mailed in. We have 3 emailed comments, which you have been provided copies of, and we have 1 voicemail, which I will play for you now.
Hello, my name is Rocio Renderos. I live in Ontario. I live in the 203 North Miramonte, Ontario, California. This comment may be or may not be directly linked to the to your comments that will take place by tomorrow at 6 o'clock or 6:30. I live in this area. I've been living here for the past 14 years, between 14 to 20 years. I see an increased number of big trucks going through this little small street. And there's hardly a space for these big trucks that are coming through. It's been disruptive, and it's something that it's not longer appreciated. Now we're staying home and we're working from home. Do we have this traffic that is disruptive, and that is the reason why I'm calling. because if there's many people like myself that are working from home, we are being disrupted by the noise, by the constant traffic that these trucks are taking place at this moment. And it's something that is on a small street, I don't think it's appreciated. If it is a larger street, a bigger street, then that's fine. But this is a small street. That's something that I am not appreciative, and that's something that needs to be changed. There's hardly space for 2 vehicles, much less for larger vehicles that go ahead and transit this area. That's my point. Maybe this is something that you might pick up later, but that is something that I see often now. That was not the case before. So I hope that you do not forget the smaller homes and the smaller streets that are in the area. And again, if you want to contact me directly, you may do so. My number is 909-851-3271, and my name is Rocio, R-O-C-I-O. Last name is Renderos, R-E-N-D-E-R-O-S. And I live in Ontario. I've been living here for quite some time, and I just wanted to comment on that. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes public comments for this evening.
All right, thank you. Mr. City Manager, that's probably something you want to, that is a really small street that she's referring to. So, and it's right above Holt. Wondering if it's the construction company going.
That's what we originally thought, sir. We do have traffic enforcement looking into it now.
All right, thank you. So that takes us to the agenda review and announcements. Mr. City Manager, do you have any? Oh,
We have,
what?
I believe we have one more public comment, sir, from our supervisor.
I'm sorry. I thought she said that was the end.
You say the best for last, huh, Mr. Mayor?
There you go. Hi,
Yeah.
Kurt.
I understand I only have a couple minutes under Ontario rules. I think of an update, and unfortunately, you were on the mayor's call today, Paul. So whatever we don't cover in my 3 minutes, I'm sure you can fill in the residents of Ontario what's going on. Just in the summary that we were able to get both the city letter out of all 24 cities urging the government for local control, and last Friday we got 4 Southern California counties to join San Diego County, San Diego, Riverside, and Orange County, to lobby the governor to give us more local control. And as of yesterday, he changed all his criteria. So I think it was a very successful effort of persuading the governor to represent 30% of the population of California that needs to work better with the counties. Real briefly, we are many different places open. As you know, that retail is now open for pickup at curbside, I believe in about a week or 10 days. That will be for us to go shopping under certain conditions and criteria, as well as many of the I guess everything's urgent medical care, but things that they reclassified, sort of maintenance and other type of open surgeries and things can also be scheduled now. So a lot of the medical side, the retail side, restaurants, I believe by the end of the month will be open for, again, under the new normal, certain conditions, to be able to open for dine-in eating in the next 7 to 10 days as well. So a lot of things going on. The county has put all what's open, what's not open as of today on a one-pager on our website. And we hope that everyone gets a chance to visit that often, because it changes quite frequently. And we want to make sure you have the latest and greatest information at all times at your fingertips. We also put together a reentry plan for the county that's also online that will allow everyone to be able to figure out, if you're a business owner, what is opening and how it should be open in a safe manner, because we want all the business to open, but at the same time be safe about how they open. And so we have 80 some odd pages of document there to go through at your leisure to find out what your business industry is. And we successfully launched our business compliant campaign as of Friday, which allows our business owners, small business owners, to apply for a business compliant checklist, so to speak. And they will get a placard in their window that says they are safe to come use, or safer to come use, the best way we know how to do that. As well as the county has put $30 million into a pot to give these small businesses a $2,500 check each to open up correctly and under the business compliance. And we're going to be using the city's as partners in this. Hopefully that we're able to get them to help, check on the businesses. We hope that we could work with you guys on contact tracing. As far as testing, we plan to have 5 permanent test sites up, 1 in each district by next week, and hopefully another one by the following week. But we're going to be able to get to the point where we can do almost 10,000 tests a week. So anybody that feels a little bit ill or thinks they may be exposed to COVID can go and get tested on a regular basis. We're also having contact tracers. So if we do hear of an incident, we can go back and find out who may have been in contact with, so we can alert them to go get tested as well. So everything's kind of moving very quickly forward. And like I said, I have 3 minutes, so I'll keep it short, but more information on the website out there on San Bernardino COVID-19, SD COVID-19, and all those checklists and the way for the business compliance program and such are all on there right now. We want to thank Ontario for being a good partner with us.
Hey, Kurt, what about the moving of some employees from here to you?
Yes, I brought that up for today in our mayor's meeting, and thank you for the question. Is what we have is we need to hire a lot of people to help us with contact tracing, possibly for our business compliant campaign, as well as certain infrastructure for the testing. And that's going to take a lot of resources that frankly we just don't have right now. Instead of going out and going through the process of hiring a county employee, that takes us a while for background checks. Well, we're hoping that we can work with the cities if we have personnel that's not being fully utilized at this point, that maybe we could cross-train them into working with us for the immediate future and work on some of these high priority areas we can open up as fast as we possibly can. And
what about the churches?
The churches we're hearing at the end of the month as well, they're open to use their offices right now, but they have according to the governor, non-in-service services right now. So what does that mean? If you have a small group and keep your social distance, I think we're good to go. We've been lobbying, as you know, Mr. Mayor, we put in that in our primary letter that we would like to open them up as soon as we possibly can. And with that being a priority, he has reduced and opened up certain parts of churches, but it has to be done very safely. And let me say that there's been a couple of instances this last week, one in Butte County, where a parishioner got 82 others sick in one service, and in Sacramento on a Mother's Day service that they probably shouldn't have been open, but they did. And the gentleman came down with COVID-19 the next day and got tested, so they're testing 180 people out of there. So there's a lot to do so correctly, but we have all that criteria, how we believe we can mitigate some of these risks for everything, including churches, on our document that we submitted to the state for reentry recovery plan.
And the bill that Aconeta was pushing so hard on?
I don't know the status of that bill right now. There is a federal bill. So all of us have pitched in for the local government to get as much reimbursement from the federal COVID Care 4 Act as possible. And so we we all submitted letters to the governor. And as you know, the Congress has passed a $3 trillion bill, COVID 4, last Friday. The Senate, I don't think is going to go for that, but somewhere between $500 and $950 billion is supposed to be geared toward local government with no size restrictions, probably based on population, I'm guessing, to get some backfill money for the budgets. And we just don't know when it's going to happen. My best guess is mid-June for that.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure we're on board and supporting that. Okay, well, Kurt, thank you for the call, and glad you got in there in the nick of time.
We got it there in 3 minutes or less.
Everybody, that's our supervisor of the 4th District.
Great partner for us.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Kurt.
Bye-bye.
All right, so now that takes us to our agenda review and announcements. Mr. City Manager, do you have any updated materials?
We do have one update for item number 21, but we'll include that in the presentation for that item, sir. Other than that, no.
Okay. That takes us to the consent calendar, and all matters listed under consent calendar will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on these items unless a member of the council requests an item to be removed from the consent calendar for a separate vote. We do not have any public comments to the consent calendar, so I'll entertain a motion from the council.
So move.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman.
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
I think we
So,
need a roll call vote.
we have to do a roll call vote? Okay, so, Madam City Clerk, by roll call?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
and Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, that moves us forward to public hearings. And item number 17, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Mayor Leon, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution of necessity for the acquisition of permanent road right-of-way and temporary construction easement interest in a portion of real property located at 9131 East Merrill Avenue. Notice of public hearing has been given. Affidavits of compliance are on file, and we have no written communications, and we have received no voicemails.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk, but I do believe that the staff has a presentation on this matter, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, sir. We just wanted to make sure that this procedural step is both considered and acknowledged by council, considering that it requires a 2/3 vote of the city council in order for us to move forward with this resolution of necessity. We'll bring up a couple of slides that detail what it is that we're doing and where we are recommending that the action take effect. As was read into the record, this is a resolution of necessity, meaning that it is an eminent domain or the initiation of an eminent domain action for the acquisition of property that is in the public's interest. So we'll put up a slide that talks about what the 4 tests that have to be met in order to take such an important action. They're detailed in your staff report, and they should be coming up in a second. But as they do, what we would tell you is that, number one, the property, the public interest and necessity are required for the proposed project. Can you go to the next slide there, please? Next slide. There we go. Those are the 4 tests that have to be met. And so the issue of public interest and necessity being required for the proposed project. So the project in question at this point is the widening of a public road, and that is necessitating the acquisition of about 4% of the overall area of a private property on a permanent acquisition, and then the temporary construction easement for about 3,400 square feet, a little over 3,400 square feet on, again, a 1.4 acre piece of property. The second test is that the project is planned or located in a manner that will be most compatible with the greatest public good and least private injury, meaning that we have examined different alternatives, and after the examination of those alternatives for this project, it was ultimately determined that this is the avenue that provides that greatest public good with the least private injury. The idea here is that the entire property is not being acquired, and that which is being acquired, all of that not all of that is being acquired permanently, but rather a good portion of it on a temporary basis to widen the road and add an existing lane, or add a lane to the existing street. The third test is that the real property be acquired is necessary for the proposed project. The slide that we'll show you in just a second will show an overview, a bird's eye view of the project site. And as you look at what the project is, the acquisition of property for the widening of Merrill Avenue, you'll quickly grasp that there really isn't much more that can be done in order to widen the intersection to allow for the flow of traffic as contemplated by the Public Improvement Master Plan. The final test is one that people often confuse with the eminent domain process, but it is not necessarily the subject of the 4th test isn't the subject for tonight, but rather just the agreement, the understanding that we have made an offer of just compensation for the said interest in the portion of the property that is to be acquired. And indeed, that has happened pursuant to an appraisal, third-party appraisal, to determine what the market value of the portion to be acquired is. So we'll take you from here to, and having met those 4 tests, we'll show you what the project is. And then Mr. Murphy, who is working the controls, can answer any questions that you might have as it pertains to this before you entertain a motion, Mr. Mayor. The areas that are highlighted in the lighter color are the right-of-way acquisitions, meaning these are the permanent acquisitions. You see at the corner of Merrill and Carpenter, the 1,607 square feet. Then further down Carpenter, the small little pop-out of 58 square feet. And then the turn lane that is further to the right-hand side of your screen of 700 feet. The area in that bluish area, the bluish zone that's there, that's called out as temporary construction easement, totaling 3,443 square feet. Again, that is a temporary construction easement that will be returned to the property owner in the same or better condition as it is now at the conclusion of the construction project. So that is, this is all at the very southern limits of the city as you get down to Merrill Avenue, just north of our border with Chino and with Eastvale. And at this point, if you have any specific questions about the project, we can answer those. But at this point, we are asking for the procedural step in the approval of the resolution of necessity. And again, it requires the supermajority of the city council. And that's it, sir.
All right, so thanks for that presentation. I'll now open the public hearing and let the record reflect any written comments received. And at this time, I'll ask the city clerk to play for us any voicemails received.
Mayor, we have no voicemails on this item.
Okay. So at this time, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a discussion or motion from the city council.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Wapner.
you know, and we say this all the time, this entire council does not take, excuse me, eminent domain lightly. We, none of us like to take land. But in this case, I think it's necessary. As far as the price, I just want to make sure that we make a point that negotiations do continue after we take this action. And most of the time, those negotiations are successful between us and the property owner for price.
That's very accurate, sir.
Okay. Anybody like to make a motion?
So move.
All right. Motion by Councilmember Bowman, second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. Madam City Clerk, vote by roll call. Sheila, yeah, you go.
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. That takes us to item number 17, a public hearing to consider, I'm sorry, Madam City Clerk, item number 17. Getting ahead of you. Gotta unmute, Sheila. There you go.
Okay. Mayor Leon, we have a script for this item.
Okay. You do, but I don't. I don't have a script for this item. One for 18, but not 17. Oh, I do have a script. It's 18. Okay.
We are on 18.
We are on 18. There we go.
Correct.
Okay, so this is the time and place for a public hearing to inquire about and consider formation of City of Ontario Facilities District number 41, Canvas Park Facilities, and the levy of special taxes in the Community Facilities District, and the need to incur bonded indebtedness with the CFD. Madam City Clerk, has notice of this hearing been given in accordance with the Melrose Community Facilities Act?
Yes, sir. Notice of the public hearing was published at least 7 days prior to the opening of the hearing as required by the Melrose Community Facilities Act.
Okay, so before I formally open the hearing, are there any interested persons who wish to file a written protest that will not be presented by the author of that protest at the hearing? If so, the protest must be filed with the city clerk.
We have none.
All right, seeing no written protest, the hearing is now officially open, and we will receive comments, questions, and any oral protests from any interested persons. Are there any persons to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Okay. So it's been proposed that the resolution of intention adopted on April 7th, 2020, relating to the City of Ontario Community Facilities District Number 41 Canvas Park facilities be modified so as to make certain clarifying changes to the rate and method of appointment of special taxes as described in action item A. Are there any comments on action item A?
No, sir.
Okay, seeing none, I will consider action item A, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. This is a resolution of the City Council amending the resolution of intention and approving the amended and restated rate and method of apportionment that were adopted at the April 7th council meeting.
Okay, do I have a motion on action item A?
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, motion to move by Councilmember Bowman, seconded by Councilmember Valencia. Madam City Clerk, I'll need a vote by roll call.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris
Yes.
Parada, Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, action item A has been adopted. Seeing no outstanding public comments at this time, we'll close the public hearing. Because there are 0 persons registered to vote within the territory of the Community Facilities District as certified by the Registrar of Voters, the vote shall be by the landowners of the Community Facilities District. As such, the landowners have waived the notice and election requirements in connection with the Act. I will now consider action items B, C, and D, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Item B, this is a resolution of the City Council approving the formation of a City of Ontario Community Facilities District Number 41, Canvas Park Facilities, authorizing the levy of a special tax within the Community Facilities District and establishing an appropriations limit for the Community Facilities District. And item C, this is a resolution of the City Council deeming it necessary to incur bonded indebtedness within the Community Facilities District Number 41, Canvas Park Facilities. And item D, this is a resolution of the City Council calling a special election for the City of Ontario Community Facilities District Number 41, Canvas Park Facilities.
Okay, do I have a motion on actions B, C, and D?
So move.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Councilmember Valencia. We'll need a vote by roll call. Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
At this time, I'll ask the city
Motion
clerk
carries
to open.
unanimous.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Got ahead of you there. This time, I'll ask the city clerk to open the ballots and announce the results of the election.
Just a moment, Mayor. Just a moment, Mayor. We have 2 ballots, both in support of the formation of the district.
Great. So the results of the election being in favor of the formation of the Community Facilities District, the levy of special taxes, the establishment of the appropriations limit, we now proceed with the remaining actions for the Community Facilities District and consider action item E, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Ontario declaring the results of special election and directing the recording of a notice of special tax lien.
Do I have a motion for action item E?
Move the item.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. Need a roll call vote, Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Action item E has passed. We may now proceed with the next action item this evening for the Community Facilities District and consider action item F, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. This is the introduction and waiver of further reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Ontario, California, levying special taxes within the City of Ontario Community Facilities District number 41, Canvas Park Facilities.
So do I have a motion for action item F?
Move the item.
Yes.
Second.
So it's moved by Councilmember Bowman, second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. We need a roll call vote, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Oh.
Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. Yes. I didn't hear
Mayor
it.
Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Action item F is passed. That concludes the proceedings for this evening concerning the formation of the City of Ontario Community Facilities District number 41, Campus Park Facilities. Takes us to item number 19, Madam City Clerk.
Yes.
Which is
This is
I got it. This is the time and place for a public hearing to inquire about and consider the formation of City of Ontario Community Facilities District number 54, Esperanza Facilities, and the levy of special taxes in the Community Facilities District and the need to incur bonded indebtedness for the CFD. Madam City Clerk, has notice of this hearing been given in accordance with the Melrose Community Facilities Act?
Yes, Mayor Leon, notice of the public hearing was published at least 7 days prior to the opening of the hearing as required by the Melrose Community Facilities Act.
Before I formally open the hearing, are there any interested persons who wish to file a written protest that will not be presented by the author of that protest at the hearing? If so, the protest must be filed with the city clerk.
No, we have none.
Seeing no written protest, the hearing is now officially open and we will receive comments, questions, and any oral protests from any interested persons. Are there any persons to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Okay. It has been, the hearing is closed. Do you have any voicemails also?
No, sir.
Voicemails? Okay, so.
No.
So the hearing's closed. It's been proposed that the resolution of the intention adopted on April 7th, 2020 relating to the City of Ontario Community Facilities District number 54 Esperanza Facilities be modified so as to make certain clarifying changes to the rate and method of appointment of special taxes as described in action item A. Are there any comments on action item A?
No, sir.
Seeing none at this time, we'll consider action item A. Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Item A, this is a resolution of the City Council amending the resolution and intention of approving the amended and restated rate and method of apportionment that were adopted at this April 7th council meeting.
Okay, do I have a motion on action item A?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. I'll have a roll call. Madam City Clerk, vote by roll call.
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, action item A has been adopted. Seeing no outstanding public comments at this time, we will close the public hearing. Because there are 0 persons registered to vote within the territory of the Community Facilities District as certified by the Registrar of Voters, the vote shall be by the landowners of the Community Facilities District. As such, the landowners have waived the notice and election requirements in connection with the act. So I'll now consider action item B, C, and D, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Item B, this is a resolution of the City Council approving the formation of City of Ontario Communities Facility District number 54, Esperanza Facilities, authorizing the levy of a special tax within the Community Facilities District and establishing an appropriations limit for the Community and Facilities District. And item C, this is a resolution of the City Council deeming it necessary to incur bonded indebtedness within the Community Facilities District number 54, Esperanza Facilities. And item D, this is a resolution of the City Council calling a special election for City of Ontario Communities Facility District number 54, Esperanza Facilities.
So do I have a motion on action items B, C, and D?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Councilmember Valencia. I'll take a roll call vote. Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dos Parada,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
So at this time, I'll ask the City Clerk to open the ballots and announce the results of the election.
Just a moment, Mayor. Mayor, we have 4 ballots, all in support of formation of the district.
Okay, the results of the election being in favor of the formation of the Community Facilities District, the levy of special taxes, the establishment of the appropriations limit. We may now proceed with the remaining actions for the Community Facilities District and consider action item E, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Item E is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Ontario declaring the results of special election and directing the recording of a notice of special tax lien.
Do I have a motion for action item E?
Move the item.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. I'll have a roll call vote. Madam City Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor Leon. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
So action item E is passed. We may now proceed with the next action item this evening for the Community Facilities District and consider action item F, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. This is the introduction and waiver of further reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Ontario, California, levying special taxes within City of Ontario Communities Facility District number 54, the Esperanza Facilities.
All right, do I have a motion for action item F?
Move the item.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. Have a roll call vote, Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
This motion also carries unanimously.
All right, item F has passed. We may now proceed with the final action item this evening for the Community Facilities District and consider action item G, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Ontario authorizing the execution and delivery of an acquisition and funding agreement with GDC/CDG Esperanza PA4 Venture LP.
Do I have a motion for action item G?
Move the item.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman,
Second.
second by Councilmember Valencia. Roll call vote, Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
This motion also carries unanimously.
Action item G is passed. That concludes the proceedings for this evening concerning the formation of the City of Ontario Community Facilities District Number 53, Esperanza Facilities. Yay. Okay, so that takes us to wow, hold on a second.
Item 20.
Yeah, but I'm looking for it on my paperwork here. Okay. Item number 20, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. This is a public hearing to consider an urgency ordinance repealing urgency ordinance number 3159, adopting temporary regulations relating to the eviction of residential tenants, commercial tenants, and storage units patrons, and enacting a moratorium on residential foreclosures due to loss of income during the state of local emergency caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Notice of public hearing has been given. Affidavits of compliance are on file. We have no written communications and we have received no voicemails.
All right. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. I'll now open the public hearing and let the record reflect any written comments received. And at this time, I'll ask City Clerk to play for us any voicemails received.
We have none, sir.
Okay. So at this time, I'll close the public hearing and entertain discussion or motion from the City Council.
Move the item.
Okay, so item is moved by Mr. Bowman, second.
I'll second.
And okay, thank you, Mr. Wapner, seconds. We'll take a roll call, Madam City Clerk. Roll call vote.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
This motion carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to the administrative reports, and item number 21. Mr. City Manager, I believe that staff has a presentation.
Oh, it's administrative.
Yes, sir. Just very briefly, the item before you is a reflection of City Council strategic goal number 3, to operate in a business-like manner. Part of operating in a business-like manner is to maintain balanced budgets and be as trim and efficient as possible. Obviously, COVID-19 has put an unprecedented strain on any number of our activities, and this is an opportunity pursuant to the pandemic to allow us to reorganize and restructure. One of the ways that we would look at doing that in a strategic manner is to utilize a benefit that is referred to under the CalPERS laws that as a service credit retirement incentive. What that does is allow eligible employees who are retirement age, who have the requisite number of years of service to be able to opt into a early retirement and accept in exchange for that early retirement 2 years of service credit. By the statute, we need to outline what the potential costs and savings might be, considering that we have a universe of about 320 eligible employees that are full-time equivalent employees for the City of Ontario. The maximum cost, and this is an update from what you have in your staff report, is about $28.3 million. If everyone, which we don't anticipate, but everyone who was eligible did accept or did move forward with the incentive, that would generate an annual operating savings of $51 million. So what we will do, this is the first part of a 2-part process. What we are asking the council to do tonight is to receive and file this report. If you do that, then we would come back at a subsequent meeting with a bit more detailed and refined number that would reflect a better understanding of those eligible employees who then might be interested in actually accepting the incentive. And that would commence a 90-day window period under which the employees would move towards their retirement. Again, the idea here is to save money. and to do so in a strategic way that puts the service levels to the community at the forefront of our intentions and thinking. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the council might have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. City Manager, for the presentation. So I'd like to entertain a discussion or motion from the council.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Wapner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I just want to take this opportunity again to thank our city manager and his staff first in their quick and very appropriate actions over the pandemic. And now this is one of the actions that are beginning the recovery plan. Obviously, Ontario has been hit tremendously by the loss of revenue because of the pandemic, as have other cities. And Mr. Ochoa and his staff have come up with, I think, some very fair ways of balancing the budget without impacting the level of service that we're providing to our residents. So again, to the city manager and your staff, thank you.
Yeah, well stated.
Kudos.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Mr. Bowman.
No, I think it's good leadership. We've got the right team in place at the right time, and this is a good move for the city.
All right, Ms. Parada.
I was lucky enough to be on a phone call today with the League of Cities, and because of who we are and what we've done with the fantastic, retail sales development and all the other good things with the convention center and the arena, we're hit really hard compared to others. And my hope is that somehow retail sales will bounce back better than what we're forecasting. That the document that staff put together to show us all the different ways of doing things was just really well done, and I thank you for all that good work.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, well, I don't want to take any more time. Congratulating you on a good job, Scott. Also shows your experience, and we might have made a good decision in hiring you. So, with all of that being said, I'll entertain a motion. Well, this is just the motion to
Even file.
yeah, to receive it and file it. Yes.
I'll make a motion that we do that.
To receive and file.
Second.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Motion by Doris Parada, second by Bowman. Vote by roll call, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
This motion carries unanimously.
Okay. That's great. So this moves us to staff matters. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, sir. Just very briefly, one item. We had advised council, and you heard a little bit about it from the supervisor, that there's an opportunity to have diagnostic and antibody tests at locations around the county. We had been approached to utilize a property here in the city, owned by the city, and we had expressed interest. The idea for Convention Center North, over next to the west of Mark Christ Chevrolet, and on the north side to the north of the convention center, would be an ideal location. We had anticipated that would commence in the 1st of June. What we heard back today was that may, if the city continues on with the MOU that exists between the city and the county, could commence before the month of June, maybe as early as next week. And so we just want to make sure that the council is apprised of that development. It is consistent with the MOU and the terms of the MOU with the county, meaning that they will have a full liability and responsibility to maintain and clean the facility during and after, and provide some degree of opportunity for not just residents of the county of San Bernardino, but certainly our residents and even our employees that are providing service to our residents. So that's something that looks like that could happen sooner than not, and we just want to make sure council and the community are aware of that. Beyond that, that's all, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to council matters then, and I'll go with our Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Parada. And your avatar.
My avatar, cool. Let's see. Well, City Hall is still working hard, and so I wanted to bring you guys some updates on some things here. So the library is now, you can call and put books on hold and let them know when you're coming by, and they will bring you what you requested. So no, you can do that. Also, too, the library's been going really well with doing their video programs, and wants everybody to know that their summer reading program will now be done all online. I guess it's always been done online, but it's ready to go for the summer so that we can all, especially the kids, enjoy reading. The museum has been doing a lot of hard work, been having a lot of Zoom meetings with the board staff where we've been working on our strategic plan and working really hard. We want to get accredited. So doing all the stuff that needs to happen to make that happen, and I would like to thank the small but mighty museum staff for really working hard to make sure our museum is one of the best museums in the Inland Empire. Know though that we've had to postpone the arts and craft, the arts show that we usually hold in September. Just didn't feel that we'd get the attendance and or make everybody, especially the artists, comfortable with the current situation. So we didn't want to chance on not having the best possible event. So we're going to be postponing that till next October the 1st. So looking forward to putting that all together and making that be a really, really spectacular event that we can all be proud of. And also to the Chafee Museum, what they're doing right now when they've been closed down here is that they're actually putting out their entire collection and in all the 4 galleries. And there's 2 professors, retired professors, art professors over at Cal Poly that wanted to write a book about the artists in the Pomona Valley of the 1940s and 1950s. So artists like Millard Sheets, Betty Davenport Ford, John Svensson, Dyke, Martha Underwood. And so they're putting that book together, and then all that art will be up in the museum. So hopefully when we can open the doors to the museum, you'll be able to see all that wonderful art and then also purchase that book. And so it should be a really, really nice event that actually puts, again, Ontario on the map. So just wanted to let everybody know that we're still working hard here.
Okay, is that all?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Then we'll go to Mr. Wapner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a brief report on the airport. Obviously, our airport's been hit tremendously hard, just like all airports in the country. Our passenger count is down over 95%, which is crazy. Couple of positives, though, is that with the increased use of e-commerce, our cargo movements have increased over 20%. So that's obviously helped sustain the airport during these down times. And after talking to Mr. Thorpe, he said he's had discussions with the passenger airlines, and none of them have indicated that they will not be returning the flights they had prior to the pandemic. So it's going to be a slow process, but at a certain point, hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll be back up where we were before.
Oh, that's great news. That's it's a tough time for the airport, just as you guys are getting off the ground and this happened. And so, okay. So, Mr. Bowman.
Nothing tonight, sir.
All right, Mr. Valencia.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'd just like to commend our staff. They're just going over and beyond during this critical time in history. Also, I'd like to reach out to all the teachers out there, because I know these teachers that are having to cope with all of the students that particularly that are graduating, and they're not able to actually participate in the graduations. And I'm seeing the people out there in the community trying to come together. So I just want to reach out to the teachers and tell them thank you for what they're doing and trying to make the best out of a bad situation. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right. Ruben, and the poor kids who have to deal with not being able to celebrate their graduation in the typical way. I hope that there's some way we can make it up to them in the future and have some kind of a celebration for all Ontario students that graduated. Who knows, by the time we can do that, they might not even be in town anymore, like off to college or something. But it certainly is. I mean, who doesn't look forward to throwing their hat in the air at the end of the high school and then to not be able to really do that except for people who are driving by. And speaking of a drive-by, there was one in Upland recently for one of Ontario's favorite teachers. I think for over 40 years, Dave Masterson was the drama teacher for the Chaffey High School District, and he was at Ontario High School first, then he went to Chaffey, and really put on those spectacular plays that they continue to do there that are actually at a very professional level. And he retired. Of course, he also went through some cancer recovery, and he's doing a lot better. But there was a procession in front of his house for people congratulating him on his retirement that we participated in. And I mean, it took hours to get in line and then get up to his house. That was pretty impressive. And then also, I want to kind of reiterate just a few little items from the call of the mayor's to Supervisor Hagman as he was on early. And I don't know if there is anybody watching online or anything, just to remind them that there was a push by the cities in San Bernardino County and by the supervisors to get from the governor local control so that we could control our own counties. Not all of us are getting hit as hard as Los Angeles, let's just say. And so we should, he just felt that we should have a different set of criteria for reopening. And so as you saw in the announcements yesterday, the governor did relax what he wanted the criteria to be as far as giving it to the different counties to make their own choices. Yeah, thanks. And then, so that was a kind of a win. That was a very big win for us as a county to be able to relax all of the rules that are happening. But there, I don't know if you were watching, there's some real stringent criteria too, but we fall into most of the criteria that gives us the opportunity to open up more than most. One of the things is to have the retail stores are going to be open again soon, very soon, and they'll be available for curbside delivery though. I mean, so I really don't understand that 100% how you're going to call Forever 21 and say, be out there with my skinny jeans. I won't be making that call myself, but someone will. And that's what they're going to be able to do all over town. But in order to open up a business is going to have to apply for a placard from the county that they put on their door that says that they have not only filed for and requested, but fulfilled all of the requirements and demonstrated in their store for them to reopen like this. And that placard will tell people whether or not that store is available for them to actually shop at. And so that's a pretty cool thing. I think it announces something for the public to see. And also in the conversation, there was the mention, and I wanted him to talk about it, so I wasn't just saying something by myself, that there's a bill in front of the federal government to help cities like us get some funding to fill the gap of what we lost through all of the COVID related losses. As I think it was it Alan, was it you talking about how we lost revenue through all of the different ways that this has cost us a lot of money in taxes and all this. So there's a $500 to $950 million bill that is up in front of federal government to help us, because they were helping cities with more than was it like I think it was more than 500,000 or something. I think it was 500,000. You had to be larger than that for the federal government to kick in and help you to survive this. And I'm sure that the nation is made up of far more cities with fewer than that, you know. So finally, they're looking at how to get smaller cities. I don't consider us a small city, but we would be included in that to get us some money to backfill the losses. And I've always said that the governor's statement that businesses didn't have to pay retail tax, I just thought that was kind of a crazy thing, because it's really not. It's a pass-through money. They're taxing you for something that's not their money to begin with. And so for him to say you don't have to pay that, well, they're still collecting it from us. So it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But in this case, if they can get this done, then we'll get something back. And then last, but certainly not least, I did want to mention that, there's always this silver lining in the darkness or in the cloud. And we have just some of the greatest people that work for our city. And, Bruce Johnson, this guy who works with solid waste, stops and decides to sing a song and of course tell a tragic story of his own, but then sing a song to some girls who are graduating. I mean, it just absolutely went viral. And you have to know Bruce to know that that was the last thing he could care less about going viral, but he cared about those girls, and he wanted to commend them and encourage them to keep moving and keep doing and keep progressing and be winners. And when I first saw it, I mean, I saw it at first and I thought that is just so like Bruce, because I know him pretty well. And I just thought it was just like him. But I really love the way that he got recognized. He was on the news. I don't even know how many millions of people saw that at this point. But it also reflects back on all of us as council and city staff, and all of it reflects on the entire city and makes people have some good thoughts about all of us. So Bruce, if you're watching, you probably aren't, thank you. Thank you for being a good representative of our city. We love you and appreciate you. That was a doggone good thing you did there. So with all of that being said, thank you for participating in our meeting by TV or web live stream. We appreciate your interest. Our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, June 2nd. And this meeting is now adjourned.